figure out if this will go smoothly or not. Here, let's do that. Change disc. No, not change disc. That's wrong. Because we're changing games, not discs.
Keith, games are discs on the PlayStation.
But I think what it
That's
means
a
is
duck.
change from the first Final Fantasy disc to the second Final Fantasy disc.
Yeah. Don't fucking talk to me. I fucking know all about changing Final Fantasy. I was changing Final Fantasy discs when you were still in short pants.
I'm still in short pants. Still in short pants, baby. You'll never find me out of short pants.
Yeah, I mean that's it's funny. JRPGs really became big on the PlayStation, and I think a big part of that was just because CDs were cheaper, so these games that were big and more expensive on a cartridge were able to be around the same cost or even the same cost as a smaller game, and they were able to produce more of them. But also just like they came in these double CD cases, so like not only were they like these big important, they were like these big stories and big games, but also physically the box was bigger. There's just like this whole mystique around multi-disc PS1 games.
Yeah.
To the point where like there are a couple games I think you could point to that clearly could have been single disc games, but kind of pushed it to multi-disc, I think.
Do you know what,
like the clout?
You know what I think we should start doing? I think that every game box should every game box should be proportionally bigger than the actual media that's in there that Switch games and boxes have. So like disc games should be gigantic boxes.
It should have the same to box ratio.
Yes. And it doesn't have to be like, you can also do it volumetrically, so it could be like a square instead of being a really big rectangle. Like you could just make a really thick box if you wanted.
So this music playing right now
rules.
This is a great little musical piece. I think this is perfectly emblematic of something I would have heard in a Final Fantasy game in 2000 and just been like, woof.
This isn't Final Fantasy. This isn't Final Fantasy.
Yeah, well, not even that. Like, even at the time, I understood that it was like harkening back to older stuff, but I was just like, snore.
I gotta say, thank you for the $200 donation from Number Bumbler, and then 40 from Erison.
Wow. Thanks, everybody. Sorrow. How do you prove that you exist? We don't
This is the guy. This is like, if you told me, hey, think of a character from Final Fantasy, it's that guy.
It's that guy.
And I don't even know who he is.
So I don't know much about this character except for the fact that it's like everyone's favorite Final Fantasy IX character. But obviously was like the most visually interesting character in this game. You see that guy and you're like, what's his deal? And it turns out what his deal is that he's meant to look like the Black Mages in the older Final Fantasy games. Like Final Fantasy I, Black Mage is just Vivi, and that's part of their whole like so this was kind of a response to people saying, what happened to our medieval fantasy Final Fantasies? How did it, it all went into this sort of cyberpunky sci-fi stuff. And for Final Fantasy IX, they decided to take it back to a straight medieval fantasy.
I'm actually gonna pause it real quick because I want to watch this cutscene here. But I want to tweet that we're still going and that we're starting Final Fantasy IX.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Hey, I'm going to read the tweet out to you as I draft it here. Hey, we're still going on our
Call them jizz splots.
Jizz splots?
Yeah, say, hey, jizz
hey,
splots.
Hey, jizz splots. No, I'm not going to do that. Because I actually think that it's too good. That. It's too good to use. Definitely don't want to call them jizz splots.
Coffee Stomach mentioned Kingdom Hearts 2, and I'm so pissed now.
I left that out of my Kingdom Hearts history. I played Kingdom Hearts 2 on the iPhone in like 2008 or something. It didn't mean. I mean, it was fine. It didn't mean anything.
You meant Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy
You meant to
2.
say Final Fantasy 2
Final
on
Fantasy
iPhone.
2. Right, on iPhone. We're still going. Oh, not going. Still going. Our 3-game Final Fantasy marathon.
You really... So here's the thing. I think a lot of people consider 2 to be the most obtuse and difficult of the games to get.
Seemed like a 2D game to me. Seemed like a normal ass regular.
2 and not 1.
85%.
What was the story?
Could not tell you even 1 second of it.
Did you pick the characters, or were the characters picked for you?
I think I picked them.
That would have been Final Fantasy 1.
Okay. Maybe it was 1. I would probably remember if I saw them, like if I saw pictures of the interface or whatever.
Zekier says FF2 is a crazy game made by ultra math nerds who are also aliens.
Oh, and wait, do governments know about this? Do governments know about the Final Fantasy aliens? On our 3-game Final Fantasy marathon, you should...
SF Gray asking if you could possibly mean Final Fantasy IV, aka US2, but I don't think so.
Very 2D looking, like...
Yeah, but if it was on iPhone, I think it would have been called 4 at that point. They had already switched over to calling it 4 by the time iPhones existed.
Yeah.
Event design. Engagement. Shower. Wedding. Bar mitzvah. Graduation. We can design any event. Event design. Call us today. Squaresoft event design.
Okay, and I'm retweeting this onto the run button thing. Retweet.
People in the chat are discussing your iPhone thing, and Keith was using an iPhone game he bought in the store, so it would have been an official Final Fantasy release.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have been FF4.
I had a thief.
Period.
I think I had a thief.
Wouldn't have been FF4.
Are there thieves in both?
There's not really a thief in if you started out with a thief, it definitely wasn't 4, and it was probably 1.
Okay. But does that help? Did it help that I said thief? Did I mention that we were starting?
I'm still sticking with the thing where if you got to choose the character classes of your party, it was definitely FF1. And if you had a girl with a bow, it was maybe 2. If you had a list of words and you had to pick what words to say to people...
God, the idea that I could remember someone having a bow is like, that's way too much.
Okay, did it have a weird conversation system where you had a list of keywords and you had to collect keywords and then say them to other people to get conversation trees?
Wow, no?
So then it wasn't 2.
Okay. This looks nice, right?
Yeah.
Better water than the Sonic Adventure intro cutscene.
Don't you dare.
Sorry, it's true. Look at it.
I mean, I think there were, there were different strengths to both of them.
Daniel said Final Fantasy III had classes. Maybe it was Final Fantasy III.
Could have been Final Fantasy III.
This looks good as hell. I'll say this about my impressions for Final Fantasy VIII is that, like, I didn't get any sort of sense of, like, why I would have cared about what was happening there.
Yeah.
Like, we see Squall and we meet Squall and they're just like, okay, time to go fight the Galbadians.
Yeah,
they're bad.
Like I will say that there is totally this streak that runs through a lot of JRPGs, and I think chief among them is like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, where it is like it's kind of assumed that you're gonna give the game the benefit of the doubt. Like the games don't always feel like they think they need to grab you right away because they think you've already committed for like at least 10 hours. Like I'm gonna give this thing 10 hours and see what I think, or you know what I mean? Like they're extremely slow burn games sometimes.
Okay,
and
so
you know, like
Goku. Here's Goku.
FF7 was like, let's catch you immediately, and then FF8 to me immediately feels like this resting on its laurels thing of like, we've got them, they're hungry for this.
So we meet Goku. Goku's here.
Oh, that's Goku?
This is Goku.
Oh, because he has a tail. Yeah, that's funny. I don't think I even had Goku as a point of reference back then because I was neither a fan of Dragon Ball nor did I know that Goku had a tail before.
Really? That's so weird because
like...
I always, and I think we've talked about this before. Zidane. I watched Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z at the same time. Because Dragon Ball was on Toonami, and then afterwards Dragon Ball Z aired, and so I was watching.
Yeah, they were just airing them together.
I was watching like an hour's worth of Goku as a kid, and then another hour's worth of Goku as an adult.
God, that's living.
Yeah,
that's sick.
Yeah, it ruled. It was honestly, it was a great way to watch Dragon Ball. Wow, he's young and he's getting stronger, and then now he's old and getting stronger. I love that. I love when he's getting stronger. I love the part in Dragon Ball Z where Goku's getting stronger.
And we love when he gets stronger.
Ain't here yet. Boss ain't here yet. Wow, that's the boss? Boss is Dragon Head, man? And he roared at me? Wow.
No, that's not the boss. That's a big, scary monster.
Why is yeah, like a boss would be. Right?
Oh, listen to this. Listen to this.
They say boss like your manager, but they mean boss like boss monster to fight. Okay, and does this have an active thing? So I'm attacking. Oh, I can steal. Yeah, let's steal from him. Stole potion.
Oh, true. Keith loves a thief.
And steal.
Yeah, so what's funny is
steal. Look, we're all stealing. Wow, he died in one hit. Okay, so this is bad.
So Keith, if you remember, when I played through Final Fantasy I on NES, and I started it on stream with you and two other people I can't remember. And I like named the characters after the four of us and picked the classes that everyone asked for, and you asked for a thief.
Yeah.
And what you didn't know was that a thief is like semi-broken in that game, and you basically condemned me to having like a semi-useless character for the entire game.
Hey, this wasn't a dragon head, man. This was just a loser dressed up as a dragon head, man.
Hang on. Who is this jokester?
Who is this? Immediately, way different vibe. Went back, did a little bit of the chibi thing going on again.
Exactly, yeah. And so in this one, they're just like, in this world, people are chibi. The end.
They don't go back and forth. They just are like this.
But
and
yeah,
once I got into as much.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you would immediately be way into this.
Just like just literally the character models is like all I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would prefer like not chibis.
Yeah, I think for me, like Final Fantasy VII and VIII. Yeah, I mean, it sounds stupid to say it like from the perspective of an adult, but when I was a kid, like they felt genuinely like the most serious, mature games that I had played before, and it felt like this whole new thing. And then like Final Fantasy IX didn't really feel as much like that to me, but that's also like the surface level reaction I was having of the beginning of the like just the game's aesthetic, basically. Because like I've heard, you know, how much people like this game. I know there are totally like complex themes and interesting stuff going on.
I can't stand oglops. I'm blank. Ooh, we're choosing who to kidnap, right? The queen or the prince? I guess the queen. I want to kidnap the queen.
Okay.
You bet.
I think it's asking. It was quizzing you, and you got it wrong.
The most babelicious beauty. That's a little weird. Why is that part of it?
Because our culture is and was bad. It was bad back then. It still is, but it was also bad back then too.
Look at this little guy. Love him.
Look at this guy. We love this guy. Airships, baby. So, and you were saying, you know, complimenting how good the FMV looks, and this was what everyone liked most about these games, and you can a little bit see why Square accidentally convinced themselves they could make a real movie and almost bankrupted their company doing it.
They make a Final Fantasy movie?
Wait. Is that oh, it's an enormous crystal. I never noticed that crystal. It looked like it was a sword. It was like, is there going to be a giant sword hilt at the top of that?
That's funny.
Yeah, they made the theatrical movie Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within. Like all Final Fantasies, it's not connected to anything previous. It's just a story. It was all CG. It was like one of the first ever... Well, it wasn't one of the first ever all CG movies, because that was like Toy Story and stuff. But it was all CG. It looked bad, and it sucked.
Right, because there's a difference. There's a difference between this looking good as a video game and it looking good on a movie.
Yeah, I mean, it was still like the most realistic CG movie I'd seen, but it still didn't look. It still didn't look great. But moreover, just the story. You know, the story just wasn't very good. It wasn't a good movie.
Why didn't they just make a good movie then?
Yeah, I don't know. They should have hired me. When they said, "What do you think we should do?" I would say, make it good. Duh.
People say,
here's where you can send my paycheck.
Look at me walking around. Nobles always come to Alexandria to see the annual performance.
I would say
these
though,
street urchins are simply dreadful.
Noble lady. If you are going
you're
to
no city child, and you aren't a noble child either. That's that guy's voice. That's how he sounds.
Hey, what was that? Wait, go back. What the fuck? You don't just walk past an exclamation mark like that. Go back to that thing.
This guy?
Behind the statue? No, behind the statue?
Fishman. I sure hope I can find That's how the fishman sound.
Get your mouse cursor off my screen.
Exclamation. Right here?
Yep.
Received potion. Yeah, I just didn't see that.
What would you have done without me?
Not had that potion. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Why does
it keeps putting that thing over your head on every screen?
Rat kid. Wow, you gotta get out of my way.
I'm a rat kid.
I'm a rat kid. Everybody knows you gotta stay out of the rat kid's way. Honorable nobles of Treno, Castle Alexandria is this way. What a great horn sound. These houses look really good.
Yeah.
Oh, and then look at the not the awning, but the face there has two glasses clinking, two wine glasses clinking. I love that.
Oh. If you pull up your menu and go to settings,
tavern.
There might be an option to stop putting that glove over your head in every.
Okay. Config. Sound stereo. Cursor memory.
No.
A active.
No. Nah, keep going. Down, down, down.
Battle camera, auto, battle control, normal, movement, run, battle speed. Here icon.
Here icon.
Nice.
Ooh, window color. Show me classic. Hell yeah.
You like that?
I mean, I wish it was even more classic than it is like that, but I sure do like that.
No, I like this.
Gray's so boring.
Look at that. Look at that. That's way better.
I see that.
There's a little bit of charm to him just like plodding around like he was.
Well, I think if you, it's probably the
Gears says active will make battles incredibly awful
circle?
for a first timer, but I'm a second timer because I was just playing Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah, he's an old hat.
I'm an old
Give him
hat.
some credit.
I'll switch it back, and if it seems slow, then I'll. I don't want to hamstring myself.
Well, yeah, you can put it on walk and circle as your run button.
No.
Right?
The ATB, the active time battle, and this is what Lucas was saying earlier, where active, it waits for animations to end before the timer starts.
Okay, yeah,
I'll
that
put it
was
on
where
wait
we
just
got.
in case.
Did you have it on active for FF8?
I did not have it on active,
Oh,
and it didn't seem
So
it didn't seem that slow either.
And moreover, it kept the real time timer going even during summon animations during that boss fight.
Yeah. What do you mean there's no vacancies? I don't believe this.
This is actually Omelette Robotnik.
City people are so scary. Our rival Ron Button donated $100. That's really kind.
Oh my gosh! Wow. I mean,
Hippopotamus.
Considering how much money that guy makes,
Get it?
It's more of an insult than anything. He could have donated so much more.
Did you hear me?
No.
Hippopotamus. Get it?
Why everyone an animal?
And why is everyone an animal? I actually like the walk. They were right. Oh no, I'm stuck.
Is this gonna be like a Shrek thing where the humans rule over the fairy tale creatures or something?
I don't know. You don't even know.
I don't even know.
How much do you have of this?
I've played like 3 hours of this game or something. And I've played that 3 hours probably 4 or 5 times.
Wow.
Like I keep trying and I just get in and it just
God.
bores me and I don't keep going.
So no, that's just somewhere for the hippopotamus to go and stand. So I guess this was not the right place to be.
So that might be the correct time to bring up the here icon to help you know what's a doorway and what's not. I think it might be the select button.
Pointy hat boy.
Pointy hat boy.
There's something odd about this ticket. Why, it's another fake. I've seen so many today. No! Me and my pointy hat just wanted to see the play. Oh, I got a goblin card and a fang card and a skeleton card. Talk to Alleyway Jack to learn more about cards. Good luck. Here, have these 3 cards and go meet my friend Alleyway Jack, who's totally legit.
BB's just like, yeah, okay.
So select button? Yeah, select button does do it.
We didn't talk about this at all in FF8, but it had its own in-game collectible card game called Triple Triad. And this one has Tetramaster, and I think Tetramaster is a much more fun game.
So
but I never played much Triple Triad.
I've got to say, this must be where Alleyway Jack hangs out. Oh no! I tripped. Dante the sign maker. Hey,
What?
you made me miss, you little klutz. Outrageous.
Made me miss.
You over there tripping made me miss.
Fuck this poodle.
Oh, I thought he was a walrus. Hey, you shrimp! You're the one with the phony ticket, ain't ya? Are you Alleyway Jack? Do I look like that, loser? But I'll let you see. I'll let you in to see the show if you become my slave. Wow, Rat Kid sucks. No, I don't want to.
No.
Okay, later.
Maybe we
I want
should've
you to
said
be.
yes.
I want you to be my slave, but I'm not gonna be a jerk about it. I'm gonna say this game immediately has about 100 times more personality than Final Fantasy VIII.
Totally.
Are these like all little houses? Can I go into all of these? Yeah, like I can just go into these places.
And honestly, this personality happening here is also in FF7 too. Like, not a ton of it, like it's harder to find, but it's totally in there.
Pull rope. Maybe this is how you find Alleyway Jack.
Yeah, he probably answers to the church bells. That makes sense.
Say thank
honestly,
you to Kevin
this
who donated
music-
$100.
This music reminds me of FF7.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See, I have never seen anything like this in Final Fantasy VII. I'm not saying it's not there. It's just that I happen to not have never seen those parts. Yeah. Do you know Alleyway Jack? No.
I mean, he's probably in an alleyway if I had to guess.
Well, I was
don't
just
mean to
in an
actually
alleyway and he
drive.
wasn't there. This is kind of an alleyway too, is the thing.
Do we need to... Why do we need to find this alleyway guy?
He's going to teach us about cards.
Okay.
Don't even try sneaking into the castle by boat. Please don't try that. And so I sort of assume that the cards had something to do with getting a real ticket.
I don't know.
See, like, this seems like where Alleyway Jack would hang out, right?
What about down those stairs?
Hey, I decided I'll be your slave. All right.
Oh, Vivi, you have to get more self-confidence, buddy. You have to work on your self-worth.
I'm just pointy hat kid. He's stealing a ladder? Oh no, I got mugged. Who do I go after?
What?
Because I got mugged, but
By who?
by some person, by some like rando.
Those people.
It looked like Rat Kid's parent to me, but with an extra set of arms or two. Me go first. Okay, I've already been up here, so.
Ah!
What the heck was that? Yeah, what the heck was that? Sorry about that, Kupo. That's Kupo. He's a Moogle. Kupo.
Hell yeah!
And this is slave number 1. Try to get
Oh,
along, okay?
The first of many. He didn't even ask our name.
Yeah, how come Kupo gets a name?
See? Final Fantasy IX told you that was the first mechanical thing it explained to you, was use a tent to restore your health and magic.
Hey, if you never ever need to restore your health, you can use a tent on me.
Oh, that's good to know.
Oh wow, a touching final moment between Kupo and Stiltskin. You know Mosh in the castle?
Look at this guy.
Yeah, look at him. Look
Where's
at his
he
little.
off to?
Hey, the Moogles may look cute, but obviously this thing on top of their head here means that they're descended from the vicious anglerfish. They are predators. I will save.
Let's save, Kupo. Do it. Hell yeah. All three PS1 Final Fantasies 7, 8, and 9 used like the same like menu select sound, and it's very nostalgic for me.
The like boop boop boop.
Yeah. Nostalgic bloops. Who doesn't like a good nostalgic bloop?
It's my favorite. God, Rat Kid is is extremely chaotic. Don't worry, it won't fall. Haha, I guess it fell. I'm Vivi, I guess.
Name it Kylie.
Why?
Because you never named one of the characters after me.
But I wanted them to all be their normal names. I'll do it. It's fine.
No, it's fine. I wouldn't have named Vivi Keith.
That is true. You wouldn't have. If I had tried to get you to name one of these characters after me, you would have just said like, "What? No." Kind of funny name. My name's Rat Kid. Puck.
Puck?
Oh, that one wasn't even a problem. Look at all these. No, Puck, come back. Why do you need slaves?
Puck, why?
Okay. I never found Alleyway Jack.
He'll probably be there if you come back or something.
Kennesu said I left a bit ago. How did Keith feel about Final Fantasy VIII before he stopped playing? I thought that the battle system was pretty fun, but that I didn't understand. There was nothing that I cared about yet, even though we played it for like 4.5 hours almost.
Yeah. And I totally agree. I don't think there was anything in there that should have made you care about that story.
Yeah, and that's not to say that in, what is that, like maybe a 60-hour game, maybe a 100-hour game? What is it, 60 hours?
They're usually 60.
Yeah, so in a 60-hour game, not that there wouldn't be anything that eventually made me care, but that it is weird that in the first 4 hours, there's nothing really, like, I didn't get anything about Squall. Like, the biggest thing was, like, a character that I didn't care about had tension with another character that I didn't care about.
Yeah.
And Cypher specifically, who was like a jerk. And this game, it's not exactly that I care about what's going on yet, but it just has a lot more personality so far. Like, I don't. In Final Fantasy VIII, I was like, will I ever find something to care about? And in this game, so far, I feel like
Honestly,
it's inevitable that I will find something to care about. I already like Vivi more than anything else in the game.
Yeah, like
in Final Fantasy VIII.
even it's like written in such a way that you already care about Vivi in a way that you didn't care about Squall after 4 hours, and I don't think that's like a coincidence. I think that should be pretty obvious to like anyone that plays those two games.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
And I think it also speaks to the difficulty that someone would have in trying to explain what Final Fantasy is, because Final Fantasy VIII was anime characters in a sword-based like robot future doing like fighting mercenary school, and this is like chibis in cartoon animal world.
Yeah.
And like it really, like I was always just like, there has to be some sort of thread, like there has to be a flavor.
And there is.
The Final Fantasy flavor has to be in here somewhere. And like, yeah, it is. It's the bloops in the menu, and it's like the battle system is really what it is. But like the actual worlds really so far don't feel like they're made by the same people.
Yeah.
So far.
I would, and that is why I think that's part of what a lot of people find so exciting about the Final Fantasy series, because each new numbered game means you're getting something totally new in a sense. But it's also why so many of the games in the series are so divisive, because it's like when you want Final Fantasy VII 2 and you get Final Fantasy VIII, maybe you're going to be more upset than if Final Fantasy VIII existed as a game in a vacuum.
Yeah. On the Venmo, $20 from Katie saying this one's for Squiggle. I'll give Squiggle an extra.
Hell yeah.
I'll give Squiggle an extra special lunch. And Haley says, "Fuck landlords, good luck." Thank you very much. Rebecca had also donated $5 with a picture of a little house. That was from the Venmo. Jaden Man super chatted $1, and Lou donated $5. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Ooh, like a little trip there. Wow, Princess looks sad. Maybe being kidnapped will bring some excitement into her life.
Yeah, maybe that could happen. Because don't women just sit around waiting to be kidnapped?
Well, if you're a princess.
Yeah.
That's one of the only things you get to do if you're a princess.
You get to do. That's the most exciting thing that can happen to you if you're a princess.
You get to go to the play every year. I'm sure you get some galas. And maybe you get kidnapped. This guy seems like a villain. He looked over at the princess and saw that she was sad and was like, "Ha, nice." Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's performance is a story that takes place long, long ago. Our heroine, Princess Cornelia, is torn from her lover, Marcus. She attempts to flee the castle only to be captured by her father, King Leo. When our story begins, Marcus, having heard of this, crosses swords with the king. And now, your royal majesty, Queen Bron, your highness, Princess Garnet, noble ladies and lords, and our rooftop viewers, Tantalus proudly presents I Want to Be Your Canary. Take a nice bow.
So I'm thinking about this thing you were talking about like the menu bloops being nostalgic, and like maybe that's why I care so much about the color of the text boxes. Is it's one of the very few like clear threads that connects all the Final Fantasy games. Is like they all had the same text boxes.
Yeah.
And so it feels like a weird violation of one of the few core tenets of Final Fantasy at the time.
Where's my blue menu?
Where's my blue menu? And as we all know, white text on blue background is the most readable text, so why not?
And so these guys are like thieves, right? They're here to. Oh,
Yeah.
they're kidnapping. Okay.
So, wait. I thought they were.
So they have somehow conned their. Okay.
Wait.
So my impression is right. My impression of this so far is that Zidane is a crew of actor thieves, and
well,
they have
Zidane
some
is your character
Zidane and his crew.
and crew. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry.
They're a crew of actor thieves who have like conned their way into being the performance of this year's play, which happens every year. That's sort of what it.
Oh, I thought it was like they jumped on stage and like pretended to be part of the stage crew.
Oh no,
Like
they're.
I thought what's happening here is like there's supposed to be a battle taking place in the play, and they jumped on stage and pretended to be part of the play, and like they're like it's a real fight, but the king thinks it was a fake fight.
Maybe.
I think the king thought it was a stage fight, but it's a real fight. But I wasn't really following closely.
I just thought that the play was an opportunity to snatch and grab the princess,
Essentially.
and that we're doing what looks like a real fight, but is
Oh.
actually a stage fight. Sound effects, Polly. Sure. I'm doing sound of pyro. Did it say? Wait, did it say?
Oh, okay. So this is the stage fight. So they're saying Pyro. He did one attack and then he keeled over in like a totally fake stage death.
Right.
So this is a like in play. This is a diegetic battle.
This is yes,
or something.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I don't think that any of this is a real fight yet.
Oh, that's fun. Polly.
Cinna got hit
And
and
yet-
killed in one hit earlier too. What is that?
Maybe they're just really weak.
Lucas says the airship is a theater ship that travels from place to place, putting on performances as cover, which seems like an easy thing for people to figure out when princesses and shit get kidnapped wherever they go.
Oh
Okay.
God, I forgot the guy you're fighting is your thief boss.
Yeah, he's the boss. Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I was thinking that was the king.
So,
but he's
but-
playing the king in the play.
Yeah. So the thing that I thought was interesting, and it might be a misunderstanding, but it seems like this play does happen every year, but every year it's not thieves performing it. So somehow we got
Right.
ourselves to be the theater company that does this play, so that we could then kidnap the
Okay.
princess,
Gotcha.
presumably for some sort of ransom. Thou hast not seen the last of me, Marcus. Very funny name for anyone. Do you think Zidane is a good actor, or do you think that they're better thieves?
Well, I think since we kind of know that Zidane is going to be our hero here, I think we could probably guess that he'd be characterized as the sensitive type that is actually more suited to acting, but has fallen in with the wrong crowd. What do you think?
I don't know. Okay. So this is going to be a rhythm game? Uh-oh. I had to translate in my head X and A.
Yeah, the PlayStation buttons aren't natural for you.
Yeah, so it was just that first time when it said X, and I was like, wait.
It's funny. When I was a kid, I thought all this was boring. I was like, oh, you have to do a dumb like fake sword fight at the beginning or something, and like this is like the most interesting thing that's happened like so far, pretty much.
Oh yeah, I like this. It's not like super hard.
The FF8 like spider boss battle was big and dramatic though.
That was really good, yeah. But this is fun. I like this. I think it's cute. I think it's a fun idea.
Yeah.
I think it's fun when they have you doing the game in a way that isn't the normal way to do the game. And I think that if this was made in 2021, they would have found a better way to present that than just. Yeah. They would have probably presented it more like a rhythm game and less of just like he says they demand an encore. What? I'll do that just in case we get anything from it. Maybe they just thought that you'd think it was so fun that you'd want to do it again.
Yeah, I think it's literally like, hey, you want to do this mini game some more? But it also Final Fantasy would totally take that opportunity to give you a bonus item for doing it again or something.
Will you check the chat to see if they think it was right to have done it a second time?
No, I think it should be a surprise.
Okay. Then never mind.
Lucas says you do get better rewards if you get a perfect score. So maybe it's more like you can improve your score if you want before you like submit it.
Okay, well this will definitely be a perfect score. The last one I fucked up on the first thing. Of the 100 nobles watching, 66 were impressed. Queen Brain was not impressed. Why not? It was perfect.
I think did it? Maybe she's never impressed. Huh?
What do we think?
Wait.
Yeah, people said it was worse. Fuck it. I'm gonna do it one more time.
Seek here.
Maybe I'll do it faster.
Okay, let's wait for the chat, because we have people in the chat that might know about this. Okay.
Everyone seems surprised that it was worse, but I definitely didn't miss any of them.
Xenoma says you missed a couple. I think that clack, is that something? I don't know.
No.
Okay. Also, people are saying they think it considers how fast you push the buttons, and taking too long can count as a miss. Seekier says, yeah, it's speed and accuracy. Very stressful for me when I do it, LOL.
Okay, 93. I'll take it.
Okay.
Was quite impressed.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's a lot of money.
Cool. Hey, it pays to be an actor, I guess, if you're a world-class one like Zidane.
Yeah, world-class actor. Kind of smells.
I wasn't really into traditional medieval fantasy stuff until the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring movie came out. And that happened just after Final Fantasy IX, so that probably would have made all the difference for me.
It's funny because this is such like a goofy version of fantasy.
Yeah, totally.
Who's that?
But I think that's the thing, was like I thought of one of my negative impressions of the like medieval fantasy genre was it being too goofy. So like this totally did not help with that.
Sorry, say it again.
Oh, I think just as a kid, I part of what I didn't like about fantasy was I thought of it as being too goofy. So like FF9 was totally, of course, not the one for me.
Yeah. All right, we're in the castle. I'll be right back. 1 minute. I'm gonna give it a quick pause.
Oh, give it a quick pause. Okay. Well, Player 2, Bowser's Fury is it's really only one player, but a second person gets to be Bowser Jr. in a little airship with a magic paintbrush. Woo. I could probably set up a screen share with Keith so that he could put up Mario when he needs to walk away, but I don't know if he would like that or just not like it. I just got Giga Cat Mario. Super Saiyan Mario. This is cool. And you guys are missing it, and I'm sorry. I didn't want this for you. Ooh, this is cool. You get to do like a kaiju battle against Bowser. It's fun. Oh my god, a cat-shaped rainbow. Game is everything to me. When you have kids, sometimes you just can't help but get excited about the same things your kids get excited about sometimes. And I think my daughter's just like extremely into cat stuff right now, and I'm just like, it's like affecting me somehow. And I'm just like, yeah, look at all this cat Mario stuff. It's great. Oh. Wow, I just unlocked more of the Bowser's Fury map, and a lot more of the Bowser's Fury map is empty water than I realized. This add-on might be smaller than I thought, which is a little too bad, but whatever. Still good. I don't need an overly long Mario game anyway.
Okay, I'm back.
Hi, you're back.
I'm back. All right. So let's be in this castle.
Right.
Original Rails donated $78.76. The two of you have done incredible work, and Run Button means a lot to me. I'm happy to be in a position where I can help out with this donation. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Wow, you really have done incredible work. Have you ever thought about that? Have you thought how much thinking have you done about our incredible work?
I've done a ton of thinking about it, mostly about how not terrific I think it is, or incredible I think it is.
I mean, I think we work.
But
We do the best
I'm
Let's
glad-
Plays on the internet, I think.
I'm glad so many people think that we do incredible work, and I genuinely don't know why they think that, but I'm glad that they do.
You watch other people's Let's Plays and then you watch ours and you're like, wow, we're really not doing it.
Well, no, I don't watch other people's Let's Plays.
I think we're out here killing it, doing the best
right.
Let's Plays in the biz.
Okay.
Look at that bad painting. Is that an egg? Is that a hard-boiled egg with a face?
Oh, I have the Twitch up again.
Megan donated $4.20. Could not tell you
Where
why.
are your pants?
Excuse me?
Alexandrian soldier, where are your pants?
Sorry, there's if you see my
what the fuck?
One of the funniest things I've ever done in any video game was I was playing Fallout 4 and I just like, you know how sometimes you mess with your armor or whatever, and I like totally unintentionally didn't have pants on and just had like the big stupid Final Fantasy tidy whities that look like a diaper basically, but the rest of me was like decked out in armor, and I was talking to this guy and he was like, oh, you're the guy that they sent, you don't look like a soldier, and then it cuts from his face to a 2-shot of us standing next to each other, me with no pants, and he goes, oh yeah, what's a soldier supposed to look like? Oh god, it's so funny. The thing to report is that you're not wearing pants. What is going on? Okay, so I guess I don't ever go that way. I really want to look at that egg, that hard-boiled egg with a face. Are you seeing that?
In the back of the hallway?
Yeah.
I hadn't really looked at it.
It looks like a hard-boiled egg in a suit.
Why? What?
Doesn't it? With like a face. Maybe try look at the stream and like zoom in on it.
The black, the swash of black in the middle
Looks
there
like
is
lips.
shadow from the face.
It looks
which
like
is
lips
above
to me.
that.
Okay, don't
think.
go that way either.
Or I don't understand.
The secret is I'm doing this just to see that late 90s butt. Love it.
God, what? Why on earth would
Whoa!
one of the other that whatever. Examine her face.
Excuse me? You were waiting for me? I'm in the middle of trying to kidnap a princess. What am I doing, like, weirdly flirting with Hooded Girl? That was a Princess Garnet. I sort of felt like that was going to be, but then he was so not sure that it was her. I don't know. Zorn, we are in trouble.
I was totally wrong. That black swoosh on the middle of that person's face was just a giant creepy black smile.
Yep, and now it totally still looks like an evil hard-boiled egg with a body.
Because it is.
Because it is. So wait, so are we kidnapping the princess because Zidane has a crush on her? Is that like really what this is?
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
No, I thought it was for ransom money.
He said that he had dreamt of meeting her and that he always wanted to meet her.
Zidane didn't even get. It's not even Zidane's job to pick what their jobs are, right? He doesn't get to pick the targets.
Because the characters are chibi, I think someone asked, so are all these characters children? But the answer also, and I know this because I was on the wiki page looking for pictures for the thing that I made the other day, but Zidane is 16, I believe. Zekier says Zidane is just a loser romantic who thinks he's hot shit. Some people in chat, or at least one person, was surprised that Zidane is 16. Yep, that's what it says on the Final Fantasy wiki page.
Surprised that he's not younger, based on how he looks?
I don't know.
Okay.
I would think surprised that he's not older because he's a traveling actor thief. Lexus says, "Yep, he's 16, the standard anime age." For reference,
right?
For reference, Squall is 17.
Right, of course. Huge difference.
Yeah, but Squall's still in school, and Zidane is a traveling actor thief.
Well, that's right. The difference between 16 and 17, it's a big age because it's when you grow from like 4.5 feet to 6 feet. That's how you get from Zidane to Squall, from 16 to 17.
Juliet says, I always thought of Zidane as a grown-up with a job. Well, it's anime, and so that's also basically what this is trying to make you think.
I joke all the time about how in anime, life ends at 18, because like everyone's just always a teenager, no matter how adult they seem.
Yeah, the oldest you can be, like, you're either 10, 15... 18, 25, or like 72.
Which animes are about 72-year-olds?
They're not about 72-year-olds, but it's that a lot of anime has grandparents in it.
Oh, okay. You just mean if you are a character in an anime, you are one of those ages.
You're somewhere between 12 and 25, or you're 72.
Or 72.
Or 72.
Yeah, totally.
Sometimes you can be a mom who is like 40, but it's rare. Usually you're a mom who's like 30.
It's rare. Keith, can I tell you some incredible news?
Sure.
In Super Mario Brothers 3D World, Bowser's Fury, there is a Karibo's shoe that is an ice skate. And you get to, like, toboggan around in an enormous ice skate.
That sounds fun. Like an ice skate the size of...
Yeah.
Of a toboggan.
Yeah.
That is fun. I like that. I could fuck with that. Beatrix.
Oh. What's up?
Oh, I just I had clicked off of the screen, and so I was like, why is my thing not working? But it was just because I clicked off the screen. Steiner.
Yep. Steiner.
That fits for me. Oh, someone told me that Steiner wasn't evil. It wasn't that he was happy that she was sad. It's that he thought that she was going to feel better, but then she didn't.
Right. Yeah. He was like happy that she probably was there either where she should be or perhaps even that she was just out seeing a play.
The famous shut-in princess. Forever drum roll. This drum roll. If we set this up right,
it's the tension is mounting.
We could have this drum roll last literally forever.
If we set it up right, you mean by just not doing anything?
Well, we got to make sure that the computer doesn't go to sleep. We got to figure out a way to like if eventually the computer will start literally breaking down. We got to figure out a way to keep it going.
Keith?
Yeah.
You can't say this, so I'll say this. This drum roll doesn't end until Keith has $8,000 in donations for his housing fund.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, I was gonna slowly reveal that over the course of the next 3 hours, but yeah, you're all being held hostage. You can't leave Twitch.com. You can't leave YouTube.
You weren't even gonna reveal that until the drum roll had been going for 3 hours.
Yeah, people. Yeah, basically, I was going to wait for the first person to start giving money voluntarily, being like, here's $15, here's $80, please stop with the drum roll. And I was like, that's it, you finally figured it out. That's this is Saw 9. Have
you ever seen a Saw movie?
Yeah, you have to solve a puzzle, and it hurts you. But this is this is like a financial one. I literally tried to end it, but I had clicked away. Okay. It's still okay. It went on for like 2 seconds longer than I thought it would.
Yeah. Oh, it would have been funny if there was like 8 more dialogue boxes before the drum roll finished. Like, is it just gonna go on forever?
Is it stuck? Did I fuck up? Where is everybody? Oh. Ooh, Lexus said, keep the drum roll going, unfortunately.
Uh-oh.
Fortunately, we already stopped it.
Yeah.
Another 50 from Basil saying, I like the drums. I want them to continue. I fucked up. Okay, next time there's drums.
Okay, yeah.
Next time there's drums, I'll keep them going.
Keith will get to Keith will bring the drums back at $8,000.
Oh, am I supposed to be moving around as Steiner? I am.
Yeah.
This is this?
Oh, that's why
another
it kept putting
to keep the drum roll going. Oh no, I made the worst mistake of my life. I can do this. Okay. I can just do this over and over. Does this help?
And so now we know why the game put the hand on screen over your head every time. Maybe it's so that you would know, hey, I'm Steiner now.
Yeah. Is this unique for Final Fantasy games? This is now the 3rd character I've controlled.
It's not like you certainly could play as other characters at certain points throughout other games, but I think it was rare for you to be switching to other characters so early in the game.
Oh, who's that? See that running? What is that? What's going on there? That's suspicious behavior.
You walking on purpose for dramatic effect?
No, you can only walk or run, and the option to change is in the menu.
No, it's circle.
Oh. Well, I've been walking because I didn't know that. Dishmeister. So many fine dishes. He's not a cook, he just loves dishes. Oh. Is this, are they doing a racist thing here?
Oh no, what's happening?
I think that the only black characters so far have been these
Oh no.
Dishmeisters.
You know what's even worse? I saw some concept art for these characters, and in the concept art, all their outfits were coded Chinese.
So they
Isn't that
swung
upsetting?
a new direction. God, that's maybe bad. Lucas says that there's so many problems. Yeah, I'm...
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Ooh, can I save with you? Koopa, what are you doing here? I like that we're bouncing all around. We're in the ship, and then we're outside as Vivi, and now we're in as Steiner. I heard some food to come. Can't really cook any food during a marathon. So
I found a place nearby. I don't know if this sounds appealing to you. Maybe not.
Shoot.
Because you like
good food.
That rat food that you served to me that you called pizza the last time I was.
You
over at your
liked
house.
it.
It was fine.
It was
But
good. You thought it was good.
I found a place that has pizza that tastes like Papagino's but better, and I think that's nice. I'm excited.
Oh,
about that.
I also like Papagino's. Papagino's is like what Domino's should be.
Yeah, Papagino's is like the best chain pizza to me by far.
And you know what they have? They have
What do they have?
outrageously good mozzarella sticks. The mozzarella twists.
The mozzarella curly.
The mozzarella twists is what they call them.
They're
Unbelievable how good they are. I mean, it's outstanding.
They lack a certain,
they lack
something
nothing
that I like.
They lack nothing.
They lack a certain something for me, but they are a very good, I like them.
Well, okay, you know what they lack is that their marinara sauce is not the best marinara sauce in the world. But the
breading, it's not my favorite mozzarella stick breading, that's all.
What am I doing? Lucas, what am I doing?
Go downstairs. You're bad at stairs, actually.
No, Final Fantasy IX is bad at stairs.
Aww. That can't be true. I don't believe.
I'm looking for the knights.
The knights.
Down in where the kitchen was.
Maybe they're fighting. Are they fighting Zidane?
No.
Yeah. Wait. Run across there.
No, it ends.
No?
That's just it's a dead end. Chase where Zidane got the outfit. Well, that was out here. I'm looking for the dopey knights. I thought I found them already, and they were just sort of sitting out here. They were right here. Did they run off? Did I just not notice that they ran off? Okay, that's fair. That's on me. I found the right way to go, and then I didn't know that I did that. Usually there was a button that showed me like where I could go.
I think if you push select.
No, that just puts it on me.
Huh. Well, I don't know about FF9. I know in FF7, when you put that cursor over your head, it also puts a red arrow over the exits, but it could be totally different in this game. Or
Yeah, it
that
looks
could
like
be
it doesn't
divided
do
onto
that.
a different button, or who knows. Try the different shoulder buttons.
Looks like no. I haven't gone
What
this
about
way.
R3 and L3?
See, now, what is this? Come back. Why do you keep doing that?
What is that? That's probably Garnet.
They're like, am I supposed to be catching? No, there's no. I just don't think I can catch that character.
Well, you followed them down here, right?
Wimps like you.
Was that one of your knights who was like shirking duty?
Something like that, I think. But this isn't. I don't think this is one of the ones I needed to find. I guess it's downstairs then. That's, I think, the only place I haven't definitely already checked. Library. Who are you? We haven't seen the princess today.
A very old man.
Very old man. I'm 72.
Me and my twin brother managed this collection.
We have the oldest, dustiest books in the kingdom. Not a clue what they say.
Honestly, you have no idea how true that can sometimes be when it comes to historical text.
Let me quit. Okay, you can leave. Oh. So I guess no. I guess I couldn't actually let them quit.
Well, what would the kingdom do without knights?
Good point. If we fail to find the princess before the curtain falls, her majesty will be most displeased. And we will be the laughingstock of Beatrix and her retinue. So that seems like we're in the right. Unless it's saying that I have to go back. No. Okay. I don't know how many more there are. Oh! No, come back. It's fine. It's fine. Who are you? Okay. There's a knight doing their job. How hard is it to get them to do their dang jobs? Okay, so these knights that are running around, I guess they're the knights that are looking for Garnet. Now, what about you guys? Lucky Dice Kirby donated $25 for Beatrice XOXO. Potentially a fan favorite here.
Wow.
I've never heard of Beatrice. I think I'm doing the right thing. I think that I'm on the right trail finally. What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah. I'll say this part so far, this is the slowest thing that's happened so far.
Yeah.
It really felt like it was building up to something, and now it's like actually run around the castle and look for your knights who are shirking their duty.
Yeah,
I guess
when I think about the beginning of FF9, I definitely think about running around the castle as Steiner and not being sure where I'm supposed to go.
Yeah, I think that I'm like on the path, like where all the knights are at this point. And maybe this castle is important, and it's good to know how to get around it. And this is a fine way of introducing it, but
I don't know.
There's that creep.
Maybe I'm wrong, and the whole second half of the game takes place in the castle.
Beatrix, says Lucas, is the one who does her job. Her knights are the ones without pants. Known for once killing 100 soldiers in one day. You are the other guy.
Oh, and so the robe that Garnet is wearing is the white mage outfit from Final Fantasy, older Final Fantasy games. But I think she takes it off soon and doesn't put it back on.
You know who who Steiner kind of looks like? Maybe it's just the eyeliner. But it makes him look like Inspector Zenigata.
Who's that?
From Lupin the Third.
Oh, I don't know. The thing about this pizza place, though, that's like Papa Gino's. Are you gone?
Sorry, I was looking. My food is getting here soon. I wanted to make sure that it was just saying it'll be here soon and not it's here now.
Gotcha. The thing about this place, though, it's it's Ruby.
It's Ruby.
Is that like her sister?
What kind of cattle you chasing, darling? No, I think I'm in like I'm in some sort of like non-castle building. Like this is like I have escaped the castle.
It's just that her name is Ruby and you're Garnet, so it's like
fair, yeah, okay.
Precious Stone character.
Here I am, fixing to get ready for my big entrance. Why'd they give this one character a southern accent?
A bunch of fucking Steven Universe characters in this game.
So tell me about this before the creep enters back into the story. Tell me about your Papa Gino's thing.
Oh, just that they have great pizza, but their thing is like they pretty much only have pizza. Weirdly, they have wraps, but not subs. Or like the subs was only on their paper menu, and I looked online and it wasn't on their online order menu.
That's weird. It's a good thing that wraps are delicious. There's a pizza place around here actually that only does pizza. Like literally, they don't have wraps; they just have pizza, and it's the most expensive pizza in the city, pretty much. But it's really good, and it is not the same style as the style that you claim to not like. So maybe...
The problem with this pizza is that it is definitely good, but it's not like good enough to only, like I still want to find a place that has a better variety because it's like it's better than Papa Gino's, but it's not like a different universe, and it's not like Papa Gino's is the greatest pizza ever. But
Papa Gino's is not the greatest pizza ever.
I just all of a sudden realized that I had lived here for like 8 to 10 months and for like 8 months and hadn't ordered pizza yet. And I was like, oh shit, there's like pizza places everywhere. I should try some.
Yeah, Boston is literally full of pizza places.
Yeah.
There is something, the always soggy, always greasy, like never melted but always soft cheese of a Papagino's pizza is so appealing to me. Hold on, my food's here. I'll grab it. 1 sec.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I can maybe I can set up that screen share thing right now, and Keith can eat and I can play Mario on the stream. That would be cool. Yeah, that totally looks like it works. I don't know what to say. And that's all I've got to say about it. 6 hours into the marathon, though, quarter of a day. We're getting there. I guess. Boy, we sure do have a lot of Final Fantasy ahead of us, don't we? This might not be surprising to many people, but Marathon went by faster when I was just playing Sonic Adventure the whole time instead of watching Final Fantasy or being present for Final Fantasy that I'm not watching quite as closely as I should be.
All right, I'm back.
Keith.
Yeah.
I can screen share a game with you and you can put it on your screen and I can play while you eat. I got it right here. I'll
game?
It on the screen. No, not this game.
Okay. I capture your screen share?
You full screen my screen share and you capture it.
Oh god.
It's right here. It's already there.
I got a sandwich. It's actually not that hard of a thing to eat with this game.
Look at this. You don't want to show people this? You don't want to show them this?
Let me see.
Dude.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty sick though, right?
Hold it. Wait. Unpause it.
What?
Look at that thing. Look at that.
Bowser?
I was looking at your Yoshi worm that you were swimming on.
Yeah.
I didn't really see the Bowser until. No. We should do that. Bowser. We should do that on. We'll do that on Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a little bit while you eat.
I know that you would rather be playing your game than doing the stream with me. We should be doing my stream. Dude. It hasn't even been 6 hours. I just helped you raise 20 grand for your teeth.
And I appreciate that. Listen, I won't put it on. I won't play Mario on stream if you don't want me to. But I think it says something about you that you see it as a detraction from your stream that I play Mario on it for a few minutes.
It's the Final Fantasy stream.
Right. And yeah, whatever. Listen, you're only robbing the people of Giga Bowser and Water Yoshi. It's fine.
I'm not denying them. I'm saying we should do that on Tuesday for an actual full snooze button. I'm actually Princess Garnet till Alexandros, heir to the throne of Alexandria. I have a favor I wish to ask of you. Now that you've spent, 20 minutes literally chasing me? and me literally running away from you. I wish to be kidnapped. I called it.
Yep.
I literally called it.
Yeah.
I wish to be kidnapped right away. It's funny because they use the word kidnap. They use the word kidnap because that's actually what they wanted to do to her, is kidnap her. But she wouldn't say, I want you to kidnap me. She'd say, I want you to take me with you. Like, take me away with you.
Yeah, I suppose.
Right?
I mean,
I want you to kidnap
She's more
me.
saying, well, I think
I want you to
when she says,
stage
I want you to
kidnapping.
Right, yeah. I want you to stage my kidnapping.
I guess that's fair.
You've always got to like
pledge
my
shit.
best to kidnap you.
Fucking anytime there's a princess in anything, you gotta like pledge shit all the time. People constantly pledging to princesses.
I can't believe you won't just put my video feed on the screen while you chew on your sandwich.
Fine, I'll do it.
Woo!
I'll put your stupid thing. All right, let's see.
Oh, I think Giga Bowser's gone. He's leaving.
Thank you. You're the one that unpaused it, and you're still playing it. This is, by the way, the absolute rudest thing that Kylie does, and she's been doing it forever, which is play games on her own when she's supposed to be on a stream. It's crazy.
Dude, it helps me pay attention. I'm gonna fall asleep. I didn't ask for this stupid brain. It's just how it works.
I understand. I got ADHD. I understand when you have to do something to keep your mind occupied so that you pay attention. But it hasn't happened, as far as I know, today. But it leads to a lot of you not paying attention. So it doesn't, like, solve the problem. It just, like, instead of not paying attention during one part, you're not paying attention during a different part. All right. You ready?
All right. Well, no. I thought... Sorry, I didn't realize it was going to take you this long to put it on stream. It's fine.
Game window. Okay. Can't hear it, though.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. I wasn't sure if you knew. Window capture. Okay. This thing is cool. This like Yoshi, or not Yoshi. This Koopa turtle thing. Oh no, it is a Yoshi turtle thing. It's like Lapras, but a Yoshi. I thought for a second the shell was its back, or its back with a shell. So this is an expansion for Super Mario 3D World.
Yeah, it's like a standalone add-on that comes with the Switch version of 3D World. A standalone sequel expansion thingy.
Oh, standalone? You can just buy this?
Well, no, sorry. It's like standalone, like it's a separate game within the, like you load up the game and it goes to a menu and asks you which one you want to play.
Is 3D World the one that you said that you think I might like?
Yeah. Oh.
Look at him climb up that little thing.
Yeah. Everything's a cat. Even the turtles are cats. Even the Goombas are cats. Oh my gosh, the Goombas are floating.
And what happened? Why are they all cats?
I think this is just a place where everything is just naturally a cat. I think we just went to the cat place. I don't know.
And is that all of Bowser's Fury? Or just this one world in Bowser's Fury?
I think this is all of it.
It's just Bowser's Fury takes place in the everyone's a cat zone?
Yeah. I think when I said the game I wasn't sure how big it was. I had this area, but like a couple minutes ago I opened up this area and then so it looks a lot smaller. There's a lot more empty ocean. This was like a slide I went down.
And what's your motivation?
My motivation is that Bowser Jr. was fucking around with his stupid magic paintbrush again, like he did in Magic Mario Sunshine or something, and he got goop. He got a black magic goop on his dad, and now his dad is Giga Mario.
Wait, Mario has a dad?
No, Bowser Jr.'s dad.
Oh, Bowser.
Bowser became Giga Bowser.
I thought you said Giga Mario. It was like Mario got juice on his dad who became Giga Mario.
I probably did. I don't know.
That would be fun if they introduced that Mario has a dad.
Look at the
He just seems like a guy that wouldn't have a dad.
Dude.
This rule. This is what we've been waiting for 30 years.
We love this. Oh, Keith, this is what you've been waiting for. You see this shit right here?
Yeah, is it some sort of high induction coil?
Do you see this?
Oh, yeah!
Dude.
It's meant to.
That's the juice there.
That's the juice.
They finally got it right. Ooh.
People have been clamoring for this for years. People fought and died for this.
Yeah, right. Blood, sweat, and tears went into that.
And he can run. This is just shallow water. He can just run on the water for a little while.
Sometimes Lucas says, "I hate these sentences you are saying." What are we saying? I don't.
Just Apples wants to know where did Final Fantasy go? I'm eating food, and Kylie offered to stream Mario while I ate my sandwich, so that we could.
I demanded to play Mario.
Yeah, I said ask, but it really was demanded. Does it get okay? As a Mario fan, you've played all of these. You've played hours and hours of all the Mario games. Does it get old being like, there's a Koopa and it spins and you jump on it? Jump on the Koopa.
Yeah. I think this is pretty played out. But look at this shit.
Oh, look at that cat, sun, star, sun, cat.
A cat, sun, star, sun? You mean a cat shine?
It's okay. It's a little cynical though, right? Like someone was like, "What if we made a Mario? Everything's a cat. People will lose their shit."
Everything's a cat. Yeah, and I did. My tweet. This is my tweet verbatim. It was like, it was one of those like conversation thing, like Super Mario 3D World : cat suit, me : I don't know, kind of uninspired. Super Mario Bowser's Fury. Everything is a cat. Me. Everything is a cat. I don't know. Everything is a cat is better than just cat suit to me.
I really like the cat suit. And so you're hanging out with Bowser Jr. because he's like, Mario, can you help my dad? Can you help my
Yeah,
dad not be so big and mean? The
there's a
Nintendo
great
commercials made
scene.
him seem nice. I want nice dad back.
Yeah, right. Like, unlike what Nintendo would have you believe, my dad is a bad dad. Uh, there's a great scene though when Bowser Jr. is explaining what's going on, and I'm not buying it because it's Bowser Jr. And then it cuts to Mario, and he's also not buying it, and it's very funny. So it seems like every time there are certain points through here where like Bowser Jr. will explain a bit more of what's happening. Like, oh no, we have to go to this island now to do this to stop my dad. My dad's not completely a good dad again. And Mario just still looks totally nonplussed. Like he's like, okay, I'm following along and I'm doing this because I'm Mario and it's my deal, but I still don't buy it.
It kind of seems like he's stuck here in his own little world, being throwing a tantrum. Just leave him here.
Well, I think he's terrorizing Cat Island place. There's an oil spill. All the oil gooped up the ocean, and we gotta save it. What is that
bad.
bunny?
I don't know. Mario's always having you catch bunnies. See, this is the other thing. Like, I really like in Mario games the idea.
Oh, no.
There's an
I
idea
that coming.
that
Yeah.
Mario is always doing new kinds of things. You want Mario to run on the water? Fine, he can run on the water. You know?
Yeah, okay.
That's fun.
Yeah.
You want Mario to so fine. You want to spring on the thing and be the spring king? Sure.
Okay. Spring on the thing and be spring king.
But then there's this part of it where it's like, but you still gotta hop on the Koopas 3 times, and you still gotta do like all of the, I guess you'd call it combat. All of the combat stays like the same.
Okay. You want some new combat then?
They put so much effort into changing the way that you run around. And
no, he's leaving.
And coming up with like shit like this where you want to show me like, look how cool this is, and you're on the thing, you can run on the water, you can be the cat, you can climb up things, you can be on the Yoshi dragon that swims around. But it's like still primarily it's a game about jumping on Goomba heads until you get to the big Koopa and then jumping on the Koopa head.
Yeah. Well, I think this like this is one of those Mario games that is like more about Mario's like traditional mechanics, and then this one is trying to do this sort of like in between thing where it's a little bit like that, and it's also kind of doing like a Mario Odyssey, like look at all this, I don't know, stuff. Look at the stuff we put in it. What is this happening here? This is cool. Yeah, I think, you know, Mario often has trope stuff.
Here's something.
Mario do a repeat. You're not wrong.
How brave would this be? And who and how much of a hero would you be if you put this in a Mario game?
Ooh,
Make a new Mario game. It's 90%. It's great. People love it. It's 90. It's 95% what you would expect from a new good Mario game. But that last 5%, you have a gun and you're killing people with a gun. Like sort of Crackdown style. You pick up a gun and there's lock on, and you lock on. You just shoot a pistol at a Goomba.
Would that be good?
Yeah, and wouldn't that make you a hero if you finally brought that?
That could be sick, yeah.
That could be sick. And it would just be, there'd be nothing else different about Mario except for that 5% of the time you have this gun.
Okay, is this different? Player 2 can be Bowser Jr. Is that something? What can they do? I don't really know. Probably not much. Super Mario 3D World, I wasn't like totally crazy about. But so then because of that I didn't play that much of it. So that's why I'm having a great time jumping straight into Bowser's Fury here. Because this does feel you know, this is like an open level, so it's kind of like a different presentation than a Mario game's had before, whereas I thought Mario 3D World was just kind of like a sequel to 3D Land, and 3D Land wasn't my favorite Mario game.
Oh, I
It's
want a
weird.
hidden pickle.
I really like 2D Mario and 3D Mario, but the 3D Land and 3D World games that play in that middle territory, I haven't always loved. But so
This
far,
seems
this is
fully
like my
3D.
it seems that way, but in its controls, it's more traditional. Like I hold a run button to run, which obviously it's better than most Mario games automatically. I do have my long jump, but I don't have, and I have this like kind of side jump thing, but I don't have like
Oh,
I don't have
what?
the triple jump. I don't have, um, I don't have the. Oh, I do have a. I guess I do have a. I have some kind of this backflip jump, but it's not totally the same. So it's a
Mario is
little
such a
different.
goofy
It's
little
like,
man.
yeah, the thing is a goofy little man. Whoa,
I
that's
like
cool.
you only had it for a second, but you got damaged and you got small, and he was so little.
Oh yeah. And so that's a big difference between this and 3D Mario. Is this isn't like the health bar thing. You just have big Mario, little Mario, just like the 2D games.
Um,
What you might like about I can actually exit for a minute. What you might like about the original game is that it's the 4-player thing, and just like Mario Brothers 2 / Mario Brothers Advance, all 4 characters have like I think their unique things.
they're unique
So
jumps.
I think Peach has hover.
That's sick.
Pretty sure. And Seti in the chat saying 3D World I thought was hands down the best Mario game. That's not uncommon for people to say that. People really love
I've never
3D
played it for
World.
even a second.
Um, I'm really excited because the kids just weren't old enough for it at the like. I mean, I think Amelia Rose was either not born or literally a baby when it came out, and the kids are way more able to play video games now. So I think it'll be really fun to play with them.
I
It's
am
actually too
done.
bad it came out the day after I had my daughter like sleep over at my house, which would have been perfect to play together at the time.
I'm done with my food. So after this, we'll switch back to Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
After we see the
I'll
jumps.
show the Peach thing real quick. These fairies look exactly like some weird fairies in some Minecraft mod that my daughter watches Let's Players do, so I'm sure she'll love that.
Here's the other thing. Here's what I want.
Grab
I would
her immediately.
Here's what I would buy.
Okay.
Here's a Mario game I would buy. If they went and if they made a Mario Sunshine 2, I would buy it. Like imagine Sunshine.
Oh, I'm sorry. Say that again.
Mario. I would buy a Mario Sunshine 2.
Yeah, I would totally want to try a Sunshine 2.
Like,
so there was really nothing bad about Sunshine in concept at all. It's all execution that was the problem with Sunshine.
Yeah. And like even with its obvious downsides, it's like
now here's an overworld.
Okay, now this looks like 2D Mario.
Yeah.
But 3D.
Yeah.
Even with its downsides, it still had extremely fun moving around-itude.
It did. Yeah.
Let's see this jump.
So this is the tradition, it's kind of it kind of has the same, I don't know, design philosophy of like a 2D Mario, where it's kind of like a linear level. There are some different paths, you're jumping underneath blocks to get coins and power-ups.
This looks fun to me.
Yeah,
I don't say that lightly.
No, that's true. You don't.
When was the last time I looked at Mario and said this looks fun to me?
Looks fun, actually.
You were going to show me her jump, but you immediately put on a cat suit.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, but you can still do that.
Whee!
Can they all do that when they have the cat suit?
No. That's so funny.
That's really funny.
That. These clear tubes are like a signature of the 3D world. I think it's this and Bowser's Fury, I think, are the only thing that have had those so far.
All right, we switching back, or is there anything else you want to show me?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
Goodbye. Doot, 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 doot. Bloosh.
All right. Move this back over. Oh, I fucked up. Okay, but it's fine. I like moved the window and panicked, but it's game capture, not window capture, or not monitor capture.
Oh my god. Peach her float animation when she's not a cat looks exactly like Mario Brothers 2, where she's just kind of has her legs bent and her skirt is just like, it looks like a very silly animation.
Okay.
She looks like she's floating in like a chair sitting animation.
I'm going to tweet these and actually going to change what the game is because it still says Final Fantasy 8 on Twitch, which is a lie. It's a rotten lie. Ooh, but how do I change it? How do I do anything on Twitch? Ooh, okay, how do I change it? There we go. There it is. Final Fantasy. Oh, I said 13. I had it listed as 13 instead of 8. I'm an idiot.
You did XIII instead of VIII.
I've been writing these Roman numerals all fucking week, and that's the first time that I've made the mistake, and it was the only time that counted. But now it's 9. Okay.
Oh my god, Peach can do a handstand at the top of a tree too. That's weird. Her skirt holds its perfect shape upside down.
Wow. Well, it must have like netting in there, like a Regency dress or.
Well, it's a hoop skirt.
Yeah,
certainly.
Hoop skirt. Yeah. It's my friend Cinna. He's a Cinna, which is what is a sinner, but if you are from the Northeast. Oh, the game is.
No, it's actually if you're from Cinnabar Island. Get on with it.
So I'm on. What are you talking about? Get on with it. Well, we're playing.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the Twitch feed again, so I was a few seconds behind.
Steiner's here. Get out of here, Steiner. This guy's pathetic. Imagine you can't even keep track of one princess when your job is only to keep track of the princess.
Embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
Good thing I stashed a secret exit under this table.
I love that. Now, is this a tunnel to lead out of the boat? Oh, he left it open!
Well, it was probably just not designed to be closed from. Maybe, right? Like,
but then you're just.
What the fuck? How is that's the only way that guy could get stuck there?
Is this how you go down in a hole?
Why not just have Steiner be the one who gets stuck?
Because Steiner's not an idiot. Oh, that! Oh, now look at that. He bought it.
Oh my god!
This guy's on our side.
I just got rope-a-doped by the story.
We all got rope-a-doped. We're as dumb as Steiner.
Wow.
I think this machine, whatever it is, Aha! All that, we just got caught.
Hey Keith, have all the donations been coming through one source, or are there do you have multiple totals to count, or do you just have the one?
I have, so there's like 1 or 2 people that donated in Cash App. There's another one. There's another few people that donated on Venmo, but 95% of it is on what's it called? Streamlabs.
Streamlabs.
Which is
3627.
3627, just the Streamlabs total.
Nice.
88 donations.
Thank you, everybody.
That's how we go back to the future. Now we're in 1955.
So if you get over a certain amount, are you gonna definitely keep your house and put a down payment on it?
It is by far the best option, and I would say yes. And that number is probably 5,000. Like, that's where I, like, almost definitely for sure have enough money to put the down payment and pay my taxes and fix my car, which has been broken since November.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Basically,
you can just
leave the princess to us. Yeah, I was gonna sell my car to my sister in a move that would have been a win-win for the both of us, but I was like, I don't want to give it to my sister in bad condition, so I'm going to fix it up basically. And the brakes were like, I was driving. I mean, I was barely driving because it was the pandemic. I was basically just picking Noah up from work. Is like all I was doing.
Going. I believe in you.
Okay, well, it's timed. It's the real timer.
This is a nothing fight.
Yeah, I don't even have any skills. I'll say this: way less fighting than in 8.
Way less fighting. Also, way less going on in the fighting.
Yes,
and I think that was another thing that really turned me off. Was I thought it was so fun in 7 and 8 that it had this like weird magic system where everyone could do magic. That getting back to this thing where it's like, no, the black mage does black magic and that's it. Felt,
yeah, it's funny because it's like so far I think, wow, did that blow up his armor?
What?
Oh, those things are, I don't know what they are, but they're called Olgops, and his armor was full of them. And so he blew up the armor, and it was full of, like, these bug things that Steiner hates. Yeah, so, like, 8's combat was, until I understood it, was really confusing. But once I got it, it was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
But, like, everything else about 9 has been better so far, but not the fighting.
Right. I think the fighting is maybe one of the things I found hardest to get past. But I'm sure it will get. Final Fantasy games always get more interesting once you have a wide variety of abilities at your disposal. It's always kind of a slow start.
Yeah. Where the fuck was I? Sorry, I had 2 things open. I needed only 1 thing open. Okay, King Leo. Tonight, I shall finally see my daughter Cordelia betrothed to Prince Schneider. Oh, she was getting married tonight? I had no idea. Should I have known that?
This is the play, right?
Oh, this is...
Is the play still going on? Because that's our boss.
No, because the play was about Marcus.
But the princess was Princess Garnet, so it was just a different princess getting married, maybe. Or what? This is still the play.
Okay, you're right. Never shall I see her marry a peasant such as thee.
Ha.
If I was a murderous king, I would also make sure that I was rhyming a lot.
I feel like by having this kind of really simple story staged as a play, and here they're trying to convey maybe that like they have more going on in their own story than like what would be in a play like this, but that's like totally not how I read it as, just like, exactly, this thing's boring as hell. Even this play is boring.
Ooh, nice. Nice hit. Fill up my tea here. Got my low maintenance tea set up.
Low maintenance tea setup.
Yeah.
Yep, when I think Keith's tea, I think low maintenance.
Well, I've just got a pot with leaves thrown in it, and I'm using cooler water, and so I'm just letting it sit and pouring it out cup by cup, which usually I don't do that. I normally like have it brew a specific amount of time and then decant the whole pot, and then have this the decanter that I then pour into a cup, serving by serving. But this is just fill the pot, slowly pour it out until it's gone, or until it's like 3/4 of the way gone, and fill it back up. That's low maintenance. That's just like almost normal tea.
Yeah. If there's anything Keith and I can agree on, it's a mutual appreciation for pot leaves. Ha 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 ha.
That's Kylie's laugh when she's going crazy on that pot leaf.
I'm going crazy on that pot leaf.
You take one hit, it makes you go insane.
Yeah. Oh, Marcus, I missed you so.
Prithee, lead me from this place. Wow. Schneider looks exhausted. Why is he just going along with this?
No, Steiner. I think Steiner doesn't realize he's in a play. Is that possible? He's like, King, why are you fine with all this? Or so, like, is that what's happening?
Well, he called him Schneider, but maybe it's just that obviously the king doesn't remember my name.
Schneider is the play character and Steiner is the real guy?
Yeah.
That's such a good moment. Oh, but Steiner
and still Steiner does not understand what's happening. And so is the plan that they'll just get him to go home if he thinks the princess died here?
There really was a plan.
It all worked out.
All Zell that ends, Zell.
Zell, this isn't even your game. Get out of here.
Aww.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Wah! What is this hairstyle?
God, I don't know.
This is a little much.
God, we're still with Rat Guy?
Well, we're his slave
Rat
now.
Kid?
We're with Rat Kid Puck.
Rat Kid Puck, I've had an afternoon to think about it, and I'm not sure I want to be your slave anymore.
I actually quit as being your slave.
What? Rat Kid Puck gave up on us.
Wow, threw us under the bus.
I'm starting to think our slave master didn't really have our best interest at heart.
Oh no!
Oh no, you're actually a strangely proportioned woman. A strangely proportioned princess. With big sleeves. I feel like Garnet's character design really did not translate to these, like, this low poly design here.
Yeah, it's a bad angle too. Come on, princess, let's ditch Sir Rust-a-Lot and get out of here. Come on, princess. Let's ditch Sir Rust-a-Lot. Okay. Ooh, this is a nice looking scene. For a place that I've had like 3 different scenes and a fight already, that was a nice looking intro. Black magic, fire. I'm casting fire on that guy. And I'm gonna attack that guy.
Sound effects.
Summon. Oh, hey, look, it's these
Special
two.
effects.
Cure. No, I don't need to cure anybody. Attack.
These two?
I'm gonna be late for my date. He just ran away. What a jerk.
His name is really Marcus?
I think that's they're doing a thing where they're giving characters names based on what you know them best as, I think. And so we don't know that guy's actual name, and so it's just calling him Marcus because he played Marcus in the play, the same way they were calling Rat Kid until they called him Puck. You know? That's my read. That's my read on it.
Disagree.
You think that his name's really Marcus?
Yeah, I think his name's really Marcus. That's my read on it. Place your bets now.
Place your bets.
Why is she mad at us now?
I guess somehow she knew.
Oh, right, because it was revealed that
Oh, right, because she was watching the
was
play
princess. Yeah.
when the thing came off. God.
Uh-oh. Sorry.
Sorry. Sorry. We didn't mean it. I'm trying to delete it.
This usually works out. It's usually smoother than this.
Whoa, that was cool. That was very cool.
Cannon bomb.
Let's fight a big cannonball monster. Bum, 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 bum.
So they'll explode.
These are the bombs. We fought these bombs in the other game, right?
Yeah, they'll explode if you take too long. Yeah, if they grow too many times. They look nice though.
I don't know what focus does. What does focus do?
I don't know. Try attacking with Marcus next time and see what he does. So you do like 30 damage with the focus attack, because it must either raise strength or raise accuracy, right?
Yeah. 40.
Well, that was another focused attack, right?
I don't know. I just attacked.
Oh.
I didn't realize it was Marcus that focused. I thought it was Garnet that focused, but...
Are you attacking? I think you're supposed to attack the bomb.
It wouldn't let me attack the bomb.
Oh, okay.
See?
Yeah.
Unless that's the bomb. No, is that the bomb?
What? No.
Oh, no. Yeah, I just... It didn't show me the finger. I couldn't see it.
Do special effects? Oh, because he's an actor, so maybe special effects is just like what is like his special brand of like special ability or whatever. You know, like Zidane's thing is he has special effects.
Oops. Maybe it had to blow up?
Yeah, that must have been scripted. This is a, let's say, somber version of the Final Fantasy main theme.
That's interesting. Lucas says that you can do this 2-player where second controller controls half the party. It's interesting.
Oh. I did not know.
What do you think? Where are you on airships? Are you yay or nay?
I used to think they were really cool. I think I'm just kind of over it as a concept at this point, but they're fun.
Yeah. I haven't seen a good airship in a while. This is the first airship I've seen in a good amount of time. And it's like, yeah, what if a ship, but it's in the sky? What?
What's in the sky? I think steampunk, just like the steampunk surge that I think we have finally moved, that we have gotten through.
Yeah.
I think, kind of,
yeah. It really is like the first time you see a steampunk thing, and you're like, what? And then you're like, oh, this is now everywhere for a decade. Okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is really bad.
I can see now maybe why this game had 4 discs instead of 3 like 7 and 8, because it already has way more FMV, it seems like.
Yeah.
Zorn and Thorn.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Easily done. It's Princess Garnet. It can, Your Majesty.
Why are her second and third in command 2 jesters?
They did it for the Kefka stands.
Ooh, now we're in the haunted woods. Okay, so it looked to me like we fucking got out of there and everything was totally fine on that ship. But I guess not. Is Steiner with us?
Wait, were you being serious or were you joking?
I saw us leave. I saw us leave like scratched up but fine from the bomb, and I saw us like flying through the clouds, and it looked like we descended, not crashed. Maybe I just wasn't looking.
Oh, okay. It was like, you know, maybe
I just read it wrong. Anna donated $150. Says, I've been watching y'all's videos for about 6 years, like since I was a little baby. A real buttonhead. Thanks for all the good content.
How little
I feel like
little baby.
How little? Are you 9? Are you 9 years old? I mean, I feel like I've been doing run buttons since I was a little baby.
Yeah, seriously. Though in some ways, I don't know.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah, I don't know.
And wow, doesn't that mean something? I like this so far.
All that phrase really means is things change and also things stay the same sometimes.
Yeah.
Some things change a lot.
Sometimes
things don't change, and you can't always tell which are the things that are going to change.
I think it means like things seem to superficially change a lot, but actually they change very little. Like it's sort of like saying same shit, different day.
Okay, I see that.